Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Fan Perspective. I am your host, Nathan Lyle. It is Friday, which means time for another edition of NBA Weekly, and here is what has happened this week in the association. First of all, the Miami Heat managed to push their winning streak to 27 games, which is an amazing feat in itself. However, all good things must come to an end. On Wednesday night, the Bulls managed to get the best of them in what was a very physical contest in what I hope to God is an Eastern Conference Finals preview. And the Nuggets' winning streak ended at 15. Their winning streak was snapped by the Hornets of all teams, and the team that had won 15 straight has now dropped 2 in a row. However, keep in mind that both of those losses were on the road. They've been under 500 on the road all season, so it shouldn't really be that much of a shock. But now that those two teams have lost, the longest winning streak in the league belongs to the New York Knicks, who have put together 6 consecutive victories. And second are the Thunder, the Pacers, and the Bulls, who have all won 3 in a row. And the Magic, they've lost 8 in a row. Cleveland has lost 6 in a row, and Toronto and Phoenix have lost 5 straight. And the playoff picture has now a few more additions. Chicago and Atlanta have both clinched a playoff berth. And meanwhile, Sacramento and Detroit have both been officially eliminated from playoff contention. A few milestones for you this week. Jason Kidd has now tied Clifford Robinson for 7th place on the all-time list with 1,380 career games played, and is currently 9 games behind Reggie Miller for 6th place all-time. And Jason Kidd is also now 172 minutes away from 50,000 for his career. Kevin Garnett is 33 minutes behind John Stockton for 6th place on the all-time list. Kobe is 10 minutes behind Moses Malone for 12th, and Ray Allen is 78 behind Hakeem Olajuwon for 14th. And Kobe is now 13 made field goals behind Elvin Hayes for 6th on the all-time list. Dirk Nowitzki is 3 behind Gary Payton for 19th, and Kobe is now only 4 points behind Wilt Chamberlain for 4th place on the all-time list. 4. That's 2 shots. I don't know if I've ever seen Kobe go an entire quarter without making 2 shots. So, yeah, in his next game, he's going to move up to number 4. That's pretty much guaranteed. And Kevin Garnett is now 42 points behind Reggie Miller for 14th on the all-time list. A few games that I'm looking forward to this weekend. First of all, Friday, there are 11 games on the schedule, and nearly half of them seem watchable. First, you've got the Hawks at the Celtics. The Hawks have already clinched a playoff berth, and the Celtics are looking to do the same and close the gap. They are currently 2.5 games behind the Hawks for that 6th seed, and they hold a 2-1 lead on this series. Then you have the Rockets at the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have a playoff berth, but they have been losing lately. The Rockets had been winning before dropping a tough one against the Pacers earlier this week. And so this game will be interesting. Either the Grizzlies will get back on track, or the Rockets will inch a step closer to clinching. And then you've got the Clippers at the Spurs, the final regular season meeting between 2 of the top teams in the Western Conference. And right now the Clippers lead the series 2-1. The Spurs are looking to even it out in this finale. And then you've got the Nets at the Nuggets. The Nuggets had a 15-game winning streak, and now that's suddenly turned into a 2-game losing streak. But as I mentioned before, both of those losses were on the road. At home, the Nuggets are still 32-3 this season. And then you've got the Jazz at the Blazers. The Jazz are only half a game out of the playoffs, which means 1 win and 1 Lakers loss. They're right back in that 8th spot. Meanwhile, the Blazers, they are this close to being eliminated, and these two teams split the first 2 meetings with the home team winning each time. On Saturday, there are 10 games on the schedule. Here are the ones that I'm looking at. You got the Bulls at the Mavericks. The Mavericks are a game and a half out of the playoffs, and a win here would definitely help. And the first time they played the Bulls, yes, they lost by more than 20 points, but that was back in November before Dirk started playing. Then you've got the Clippers at the Rockets, the final meeting between them, and the Clippers are looking to sweep the season series. You've got the Nets at the Jazz. The Nets have clinched a playoff berth, but the Jazz are still in the fight, and they did manage to beat the Nets the first time they played, albeit by 2 points. And then you've got the Blazers at the Warriors, two of the more exciting young teams in the league, possible playoff implications. It should be a nice little fight between Lillard and Curry. And my question is, who do you think will score more points? Between those two, between Damian Lillard and Stephen Curry, who's going to have the better night? And then on Sunday, only 5 games on the schedule, and only 2 of them seem worth watching, but those 2 could end up being the most exciting games of the entire weekend. First of all, of course, we have the Heat at the Spurs, the game of the week. Many people predicted that this would be the game where that finally stopped the Heat's winning streak. Unfortunately, Bulls beat us to it, but either way, this is still going to be an exciting matchup. It's a potential finals preview as the top teams in each respective conference go at it for the second of only 2 meetings this season. And we all remember the first time that they were matched up against each other when the Spurs were fined for resting their star players, and that they still almost managed to pull an upset. And this time around, I doubt that Tim, Tony, and Manu will miss the game. The Heat were playing amazing basketball. They managed to put together that amazing 27-game winning streak. I mean, it is an incredible feat to accomplish. I'm not saying anything bad about them. They are an amazing team. But the Spurs have been playing great basketball all year long. Their longest winning streak was only 11 games compared to the 27 that the Heat got, and yet their record is nearly identical to them. And then you've got the Celtics at the Knicks. This is the final meeting between these 2 teams, at least the final regular season meeting. The Knicks have a 2-1 lead on the series, and so far the away team has won every single matchup. That's it for this week. Tune in on Monday for a brand new edition of NBA Weekly. And until then, I'm your host, Nathan Lyle. This has been The Fan Perspective. Happy Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Playoffs right around the corner. It's almost April. It'll be April on Monday.